And see, I said this before. I even told Exotico United, and I sent the video to her channel where you had this biracial girl. And she was a beautiful girl. Beautiful. But she lived in Iowa. And she said most of the men that she wanted, I understand she lived in a mostly white area. So when you live in a mostly white area, she's going to be attracted to, white men. That's understandable. However, she said it was hard for her to get the attractive white men because Becky already had that sold up with them. Now, this is a beautiful biracial chick. She said it was hard for her to even get a white guy. She said she moved to Atlanta, and her options opened up more, even with the high value black guys that she's with now. But she said it was hard for her to get a white guy up there, and then the only type of white guys that would try to make a move on her, she didn't like because she felt that they was unattractive. They was basically unattractive, broke. She said trailer park trash white dudes. And she said she snubbed her nose at that because she feel like, I don't want the unattractive ass white dudes. Where when she said most of the time you'll have, when she see black chicks, the black chicks, they was with these bottle shelf brand ass white dudes. The black chicks wasn't getting the best white men. And this is what we've been saying all the time, that black women never get the most attractive white guys. They get white guys that's down on their luck. White women are not picking them. They go after, and so these white guys who can't get the attractive white women they want, they pick Keisha. Because Keisha, they always know that Keisha prefer white men, and it don't take them, they don't have to have money, they don't have to have shit. And these white men know that they can get attractive black women just by their whiteness. So that's why you end up with a lot of these black chicks with these bottom shelf brads and having multiple kids with these brads. And then these brads know, in their mind, they know that these black women worship them, so they abuse them and do all kind of shit to them because really, they didn't really want to be with Keisha. They wanted Becky. But fuck, if they could get an opportunity to get laid at any time, they'll run through a whole bunch of Keishas. And that is why you have a lot of these black chicks out here that I explained that shit to Source Willie P. That you can't leave that out. That's why you have a lot of these children out of wedlock in the black community. Everybody will think that these children out of wedlock are by black men. No, they're not by black men. They're by non-black men, specifically white men. And what these women do when those white men are not in them children's lives, those black women, when they give birth to those biracial children, what they do, they put black on the birth certificate. So now you got biracial children by black women and white men with black on their birth certificate. So when you got all these numerous biracial kids by Brad and they got black on the birth certificate, what that make it look as though? That make it look as though black men are not taking care of their responsibility. Now, we can lay that shit at Brad's feet, at all these motherfuckers talking about black men don't take care of their responsibility. We can lay that shit at Brad's feet, Muhammad's feet, any of these non-black men, white men, and non-black men that black women have bastard children with. But everybody still think that black men are persauling all these children by black women, when in fact it's black women laying with non-black men having all these biracial children, and they just put it on black men. They just put it on us for some damn reason because, you even heard white men say this shit. Well, black men, they designated to be the stepdaddies anyway. So how can we be this the hypocrisy of white male thinking? 1 minute we deadbeats, but 1 minute we stepdaddies. We taking on everybody else bastard kids. You see what I mean? This the hypocrisy of white men. They'll see one thing, then turn around and say, well, a black man to take on that responsibility. So how can we be one at one? How can we be deadbeats and then be stepdaddies at one time? Because, like we always said, black women and white men, what you call diversus and white racist, white supremacist, white men think the same. And you'll have black women that would get out here and basically get into relationships with Brad just to have biracial children because they don't want to have no black child, because to them black children don't look cosmetically beautiful or attractive to black women. And not even so much as biracial boys, because a lot of these black women don't want really biracial boys. If they have a biracial boy, they're like, whatever. But if they have a girl, they want to have that biracial girl so they can live vicariously through that biracial girl. And they can play in her hair like a Barbie doll and shit. Playing that little biracial girl. We all know this. This is what black American women do and African women do. And then the funny thing is, when them daughters get older, they become teenagers. And they start looking way more attractive than the mom. And the mother be resentful of her biracial daughter, because her biracial daughter is not only pulling the quality men that white men that she didn't get, but she's pulling the quality black men. That means her biracial daughter might go on a date with a guy that's driving a black dude that's driving a motherfucking Ferrari, or a white guy to come pick her up in the motherfucking nice ass ride to show her a good time. She's getting picked, especially if it's in an area where you got a mixture of people. That biracial girl gonna get picked by 9 times out of 10. They gonna pick the light-skinned, ambiguous biracial girl before they will. It's fucked up to say that, but that's the truth. They gonna pick that biracial girl before they pick the black girl, or the dark-skinned black girl with the weave and wig. That's why a lot of these black women try to basically look like a biracial girl. They contort their nose. They want to look like an exotico. So they contort their Bantu features and shit, do all kind of shit to look like a white woman. That's just like, for instance, prime example. I'm going to show you a prime example of this shit. You had this black chick that was an attorney. I forgot what cities, I think it was in North Carolina. She was an attorney. And you look at her picture and look at how she looked with the makeup off and with on some motherfucking Future shit, face off. But you look at her picture with that makeup and that wig on, and she looked like a completely different individual. But when you see her with that makeup, that wig off and that makeup off, you like, damn, what the fuck? And that's what we be talking about. Black women, they don't have no pride in she wasn't an ugly woman. I mean, she wasn't ugly, but she looked at way far different than the way she looked with that makeup on and shit like that. She looked way different. And see, a lot of women, black women particularly, they want to look more European. They want to look more European. Like I said, and this chick, the guy was trying to distance himself after he had a few sexual encounters with her, but she wanted to take shit. She wanted shit to be serious with him, and this guy wasn't. He just was smash and dash. He tagged her. He was with the tag and release program, tagged her a few times and released her. So she wanted something serious with this white guy. He didn't really want nothing serious with her. So she stalked this dude, chased him down, and then eventually she thought he was with the woman he was dating. This guy was dating a whole nother new woman, a white woman. She tried to ran the woman down, but she ran over a poor old guy, senior citizen guy in a walker and shit, ran over here, killed him just to try to kill her. Did all this shit just to kill her and end up pleading the insanity plea. I was surprised they even gave her the insanity plea. They gave her, she pleaded for insanity because she was on medication for schizophrenia and shit. She was a schizo. She had to take medicine. So, dude, not only did you mess with a schizo, you messed with a motherfucking chick that had self-hate issues, but nigga, you messed with a whole schizo. She was a whole schizo. And she didn't take her medicine, nigga, that whole Keisha came out of her where she trying to run you over, trying to run your girl over. So they gave her what? Put her in in a insane asylum and shit like that due to she got, schizophrenia and shit, and she could be up and be put right back out on the street. Now I doubt if she'd be able to practice law anymore due to all that shit, because why would somebody want to hire her as an attorney? You dig? Why would anybody want to hire that chick for an attorney? You'll be fucked now. So she's able to get out, she'll be able to get out, once, because, that she had a mental illness. But I'm just saying that I'm going to keep it 100. I think that she used that as an excuse. I'll be thinking these chicks use that shit as an excuse. It's like I'm up here in Denver, and you had a white guy out there acting like a retarded dude out here in front just to get sympathy and get money from people. Now, I knew this dude fucking acted. You ain't gonna come with no goddamn pilot as a disability dude acting like you got mental illness, hanging out as the goddamn pilot. Come on now, man. Come on, man. In my little boosty voice. Come on, man. This white boy up here putting on a show. He putting on a show up here at this pilot. You mean to tell me you a mentally ill dude? You got enough motherfucking mental scruples where you can walk up here to this pilot and hang out here and get sympathy? Nah, player, nah, you acting. I said, hey, you need to get he was doing a good performance, but not enough to motherfucking trick somebody to give him money, because common sense should come up. And people like, oh, he got a mental illness. I said, you think he got a mental illness? You mean to tell me this motherfucker walked this way all the way up here? He probably drove up here. He probably drove up here in the Mercedes-Benz and shit and just said, I'm going to hustle people by acting like I'm a person with mental illness. Get the fuck out of here. You common sense should be, okay, so you go hang your ass. What mental ill person hanging out at the goddamn pilot up there doing that shit at the travel center? Get the fuck out of here. Acting like a motherfucker. But like I said, when she took that mask, that makeup and shit off, chick looked like you. And I can understand that dude, that white dude, because you thought you was going to bed with this hot, attractive ass black chick. No, up there on her, got her Tracy Biggum mask. Oh, I call it the Tracy Biggum mask. Because if you look at Tracy Biggum with that wig on and makeup on, even though she got a ton of plastic surgery too, I said, go look at Tracy Biggum before she got all that Baywatch chick. Go look at her before she got out. I actually thought she looked better when she played in Baywatch. I don't know why she went and got all that fucked up, but the self-hate issues, wanted to look more European looking, self-hate with the big wigs on and shit, and boobs and shit. A lot. I said almost what Mariah Mills doing to herself. Because I told people, go look at old pictures of Mariah Mills. The adult star, the one that Isaiah Zachariah Thomas was fucking with, the adult star with that fake booty and shit, the BBL, she didn't look nothing like she looked. She looked like about, at average at best, she was about a 4.5 at best. Maybe a 5 with makeup on. But when she got all that plastic surgery and all that shit, completely different person. So she started just doing adult movies with primarily white men And I tell y'all this, a lot of them chicks that do that, they wasn't getting picked by black dudes, so they felt when they got themselves hooked up, they gonna do the same thing to y'all. They ain't gonna pick y'all ass either. Because she wasn't getting picked by brothers. That's why you have a lot of these divestment chicks too. I believe that when they say the reason why they mess with white dudes because they wasn't getting picked by black dudes, but a lot of times them chicks wasn't even getting picked by white dudes. But anyway, this chick looked completely different with that makeup on and that wig on. And when she take that makeup and wig off, I bet you any money when that dude woke up on the side of her and turned around, her face turned out, and he damn near jumped out the bed, thought he was in the bed with a whole different individual. And that's, and he was smashing her a few times, and she got comfortable. She got comfortable with him because she thought she found her a little white zaddy. So she got comfortable and decided she wanted to take off the makeup and the wig off and had put a bonnet on. You know how these sisters be putting them bonnets on and shit. And then dude turned around and grabbed her and looked at her face like, oh, what the fuck? And that dude, he probably ain't messed with her ever since, and she was chasing his ass down. That's what happened. I bet you any money that's what happened. But I digress.